All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We are continuing our weed sector review, looking at CGC, Canopy, and Chronos. Definitely a nice little string of green candles right here, right? But I will tell you why I'm not wildly excited here in a second. But real quick, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages, the horizontal support and resistance lines I do draw manually myself, and then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Real quick, if you can please like and subscribe, it does really well with the YouTube algorithms. Nonetheless, I sincerely appreciate your time, okay? And if you disagree with anything, please let me know in the comments, all right? I would much rather you tell me than me get my things wrong in the market and watch my money go away, right? So, with that, look, I started the video, right? You can't ignore a good 5 green candles in a row. I love that each day keeps going higher, right? This one wasn't wildly higher, but yeah, we do close a couple, even if it's a penny, we close over the last one, right? And then obviously this was a good one here. Friday was the first one over the 8. So obviously confirmation on Tuesday because Monday's a holiday, but Tuesday's confirmation the next day is going to be real big, right? We actually don't pass this line. So if you see, we open at 251 and you can see we closed at 251. And look, it's exactly like a moving average. You either break the important candle or you're simply on it or under it, right? And we're unable to break that, but that's definitely a good string and that's a good full candle, right? I like that the high and the close are both 251, right? That means the whole day people were buying till the very, very last second, right? My issue just really is at this point, look, it's not as tight a cluster as these, but it's going to be really hard to break the 50 with the 20 right behind it. You know what I mean? And look, I love me some red, 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 especially when you have a nice gap right there, right? So maybe you'll see at least one candle attempt at both of these, but I'm just not too sure we're breaking 261, right? This 50. And then 270 right behind it is really tight. You know what I mean? So, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. That's not what I'm here for. But one thing I do kind of like to talk about is just know where the moving averages are and the spacings between them before you buy. Because again, I love red, 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 and a gap, right? I mean, I love those, and I rarely say don't look there, right? But I'm actually a little less focused here and I'm more focused on these two. And look, let's be honest, this gap down which just happened was because there was bad earnings. Now, I have no idea what the earnings were. I didn't read anything or anything like that, right? But clearly the market didn't like something, you know? This 20 is at least not going as dramatically down as I thought it was. Because I do remember on the last video, the fear was that these both are going to go down like we see here, right? But it actually kind of looks like the orange line might be going horizontal and hey, might even be going up if this thing keeps running, right? So I'm definitely going to watch how the 20 moving average moves. And then again, I mean, 260 and 270 are definitely going to be the key lines, right? And look, now this 290 that we drew a while ago is definitely becoming the 100, right? So, and then really even after that, the 200's not that far. But look, this isn't too bad a spacing. I mean, there's reason to believe 330 is there, right? That will be a big hurdle. But if it could get over this, and 270 is basically essentially this 271 is actually a cent over it, right? But if you can get over both these lines, there might be good reason to believe it'll at least come to this 330 up here, because look, that's a super low RSI, and the MACD is actually close enough to the zero line to where if they both kind of start moving up, it could be a pretty good move. So it's funny, I started off a little negative, and then as I finished this whole little thing, I kind of got a little more positive. But I'll at least say this. I'll set my alert for 272. I'll actually give it a couple cents over the 20 break right there, right? But um, I'm much more interested in trading over these two lines than actually guessing if we are. You know what I mean? And again, just different risk and reward tolerances. I'm probably not going to have my finger on the trigger when things are happening, right? So I don't know why I zoomed out right there. Sorry about that. But yeah, if it gets over this, I'd much rather see the ride from 275 even to 330. That's actually not too bad at all. So look, this is not a great weekly by any means, right? Clearly, it was good with a hope of getting over the 20 if earnings was good enough, and then we're not quite at 50% candle. I think it's fair to say we're actually pretty much under 50% and clearly under the 8, right? And look, that's a ugly RSI right there, right? This thing is definitely saying I want to keep going down. And I mean, just kind of back here, you can see the RSI was 14. So there's definitely room for it to keep going lower if it wants to. You know what I mean? So again, I'm kind of looking at this 20 right here, right? Are we going to go horizontal? You can literally see it. It's just kind of literally going horizontal on this line right now. This is actually kind of looking like it wants to go up a bit too, right? I'm just glad the two lines aren't trying to go down, but can't ignore that RSI. Definitely don't like it, but maybe we'll just kind of call it a still tightness. You know what I mean? But next week is going to be really critical for Canopy. It's either going to kind of make up for this, this right here, or one of these two lines is going to reject it and it's going to go under the 8 right now. So, and like I said, I'd be way more interested over these lines than just kind of fighting for this next 20 cents. Look, 20 cents is roughly 10%, right? So, I like 10% moves. If you can make 10% moves all day, my goodness, your account will be doing amazing, right? Again, it seems safer on the other side of those waters. So, yeah, I think that's about it for Canopy, actually. Let's take a quick look at Cron. Again, I'm telling you, Cron, I'm just really surprised at how different it has been since CGC. But look, there has been absolutely no reason at all. Maybe this right here, I think we talked about this the last video, but this has done nothing but trade under the 8 and the 20, trade under all 5 moving averages. It's been doing the things I always say you don't want your money in, right? You don't want your money in something under all 5 moving averages. You don't want something under the 8, right? I'm telling you, you don't want anything under these two lines, the 8 and the 20, right? This thing hopefully is not at all-time lows. Are you at all-time lows? Come on. Okay, you're not. That's good. But yeah, unless this thing was in all-time lows, it literally would have been in every single check mark of where you don't want your money. At this point, look, I see that this red line is still kind of going down, right? I mean, it's not as sharp, but it's definitely not up. This thing is still kind of going down. This thing's like, there is still reason to believe there's a good amount of pain here, right? Like there's nothing happening that's making me believe good stuff. You know what I mean? So quickly looking at the weekly, this is a horrible weekly, right? It tried to wick right here, right? Roughly 50%. I actually think it needed to get over the line to even call it 50%. But nonetheless, there was a decent wick, but obviously we're maybe there, right? What are we going to call that? 10%, if that, maybe even 5% candle. So, yeah, again, this is the worst weekly possibly out of, I think, 6 stocks in the weed sector, right? So this is number 7. And yeah, if the weekly is bad, your daily is going to be horrible, right? It's just, I say it all the time. I hope it becomes super repetitive in your head, right? So really not too much more to talk about on Cron here. Cronos really needs to do a lot more to give us some reason. But yeah, CGC is on the cusp of good stuff happening. I just, like you saw in the video, right? I couldn't tell if I should be bullish or bearish. I think I'm very much wait and see. You know what I mean? So, hey, I appreciate your time. If you disagree with anything, like I said, throw it in the comments, all right? Have a great one. Again, I very much appreciate you.